What's up, everybody? What I want to talk about in this video is the advice that is given out nowadays to do what you love, do what you're passionate about, man. And if you do that, you'll never work a day in your life. I mean, honestly, I think this is horseshit. It's terrible advice. The reason why people give this advice nowadays is because it makes people feel good. It makes us all feel nice. Like, nobody's going to disagree with that advice because it makes them feel good. It makes them feel justified in whatever they're doing, more often than not. Now, it sounds like a good idea, right? It sounds like a good idea that you do what you're passionate about and that's how you become successful. But really, it does not work like that, with maybe just a handful of exceptions. Like professional athletes, for example. Like a pro football player plays football and gets paid millions of dollars to play football. Now, even that's not a perfect example because pro football players have to do like media engagements, which most of them hate. They have to do things like physical therapy. They have to do, specific nutrition stuff that they don't like. So even that is questionable at best. Maybe another example could be, musicians. They get paid, millions of dollars to record songs, to play shows, and more often than not, that is what they're passionate about. But in today's world, these guys often have to be like business people as well. They have to sell merchandise. They make most of their money, by playing live shows. So unless they get lucky and get a great deal with a label that kind of takes care of all of that for them, there's still a ton of shit that they have to do that falls well outside the scope of their passion. So what I really want to get at in this video is that it's not about doing what you fucking love. It's about doing whatever it takes to get to your goal. It's about doing what you're fucking good at and what you can get paid to do extremely well. And this is where I think a ton of people fuck this concept up. Just take myself for example. A lot of people assume that with Powerlifting to Win, I created a business that I'm, about something that I'm so passionate about, and that's why I was able to do well with it. And to a certain degree, that's true because I get in front of a camera and I talk to people. So, if I wasn't passionate about that, it would come through in the videos, and the videos wouldn't do well. Now, all that said, though, if you think that I was successful with Powerlifting to Win because I'm passionate about powerlifting, then you're fucking wrong. There's tons of guys out there that at the time that I actually started Powerlifting to Win had literally 10 to 20 times more experience and 10 to 20 times more credentials, but they didn't have half the traction that my website got because I out fucking hustled them in the business arena. What I did was I woke up at 6 a.m., read a book about a program, okay? Let's just say I was doing reviews at the time. I read a book about some program, read the entire thing in one sitting, then wrote a giant ass 1,000 to 5,000 word article reviewing the program, and then I would do a video on it, and then I went out and actually went to the gym and trained, and then I would narrate that training session, and in between all of that, I would respond to client emails and work with the people, on improving their form, on making sure that I adjusted their programming, and I was doing at least 90 to 95% of shit that had nothing to do with actual lifting of weights, okay? That's what I like to do. You wouldn't have to pay me anything to lift weights. I love to lift weights. But if you think that I loved waking up at fucking 6 in the morning to fucking read shitty ebooks about powerlifting training and then write giant ass articles about them all day long and then film it all day long, then you're out of your fucking mind. I'm not passionate about that. I'm not passionate about doing that much work to create powerlifting content. Nobody is, because it doesn't have anything to do with what you're fucking passionate about. Unless what you're passionate about is a specific goal and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get to that goal, which is what I would suggest. It's not about finding out what you love. It's about finding out what it takes to get to the goal that you want and then doing that fucking thing. And like in my current business, for example, one of the main requirement of my position is basically sales. So I'm doing, hours and hours of sales calls every day. I do hundreds of cold calls at times. And if you think that I'm fucking passionate about cold calls, you're out of your fucking mind. Nobody's passionate about that shit. I mean, maybe somebody. I don't want to speak for them. But no, I don't fucking love cold calling people, but I love the results that it gets, and I'm willing to do whatever it fucking takes to get to that financial goal. So again, do what you love. What does that even mean? There's nobody out there that loves 100% of what they do. You have to be, it's not about loving the underlying thing that you do. It's about loving each thing that you're doing at that moment enough that you actually get good at it and you can crush, okay? Immersing yourself in the process is really the key, but I mean, loving it and being passionate about it, you think I'm fucking passionate about cold calls? Are you fucking serious? No, I do it because that's what it takes to get to the financial goals that I have inside of this business. And yes, I love seeing the business grow, for sure. But No, man, you're gonna have to do things that you don't like. You're gonna have to do things that you're not passionate about, that aren't like the love of your life. That's just terrible, terrible advice. If you want like very high levels of success in anything, you're going to have to bust your ass doing things more often than not that you don't actually fucking like to do. And it's just a fantasy land. It's a fantasy land that you think that you're going to find this one thing that you're super passionate about, and that's what you're going to do all day long. I mean, even in the health and fitness space, actually lifting weights is very different from coaching people. Okay, managing people's emotions and the ups and downs of them having a good training day and a bad training day, or basically becoming their fucking psychologist at times. It's a very different job than lifting weights. So again, I would just encourage you to just ignore this piece of advice. It sounds really good in a self-help video, in a motivational video, but at the end of the day, your success is actually going to depend on your willingness to do things that you don't like and to get good at those things. And not just get good at those things, but become amazing at those things to the point where you can actually use it as a competitive advantage in the marketplace. So, I mean, I'm getting a little repetitive here, but the main thing that I wanted to say in this video is it's not about finding out what your passion is, okay? It's about finding out what it takes to get to your goal and executing whatever it takes to get to that goal with passion. And there is a huge difference. You don't have to love what you do to love what you do. That may not make sense on the surface, but it will when you start to consider it from the prism of loving and being passionate about getting to your goal versus loving and being passionate about every underlying action that you take along the way. Because that's not gonna fucking happen. You're gonna have to do shit you don't like. Newsflash, it's the real world. Anyways, if you're young, I hope you hear this video and realize that you shouldn't be spending your life trying to figure out what you're passionate about. You should be spending your time figuring out how you can do what it takes, whatever it takes, to get to whatever your particular goal is. Anyways, that's all I want to say in this video. Have a nice day, my friends.